Good evening, kindred. I am Teranz, and welcome back to more Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. I took a little bit of a gap between recordings, so honestly, I don't quite remember what happened between last time and this time, so I'm just gonna jump into the reading. Here we go. I can remember any of the voices I tried to do. The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of a concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to it. You recognize a phrase or two of the lyrics and realize that you know the song they're playing. A poster confirms your suspicion. It's a Life of Agony tribute band, and they're not half bad. A group of a dozen patrons are tightly packed together, and the smell of their sweat and youthful, excited blood overwhelms you momentarily. It's with some difficulty that you turn to the task at hand. Oh, right. I'm trying to meet with the Anarchs. All right. You've heard your share about the Anarchs and how they fit into kindred politics. But you only have your short encounter in Corona Park on which to base your actual opinion of the faction. That might have just been a horrible first impression, but you're keeping your guard up just in case. You start at the bar. Mia was supposed to be a regular. Might as well check in how true that is. The bartender turns to you after she pours a line of drinks for a group of rowdy patrons. What can I get you? Hey, so, stupid question. Any chance your name is Mia? She laughs. No, I'm Carol. What do you want with Mia? I just wanted to meet her. She's kind of a local legend. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Go to where the crowd is. She's a small girl in the big jacket. Have fun. She winks at you. You approach the woman the bartender indicate as the band takes a break. Heard this is the spot to meet hot chicks who hate the patriarchy. Anarchs, you could say. Seriously, that's the best line you came up with? She doesn't smile, but she doesn't hit you either. Follow me behind the bar. She leads you through the bar to a back door that leads into a side room. Indie metal band posters are plastered on every wall, some of them 20 or more years old, judging from the tour dates. An old sticky table and some rickety chairs are the only pieces of furniture in here. Sit down. Sure. Take a seat as the woman leans against one of the walls. Name's Mia. I'm guessing your visit here isn't a happy coincidence? I don't know you, sir. Either new in New York or been keeping an outstandingly low profile. Both sound suspect. So before we take these pleasantries further, answer me this. Who do you run with? Let me scroll back because it's been a minute. Anarch hopeful. Okay. I'm independent. I don't bow to anyone. Isn't that adorable? Listen, fledgling, you don't get to be this fresh in the game and not pick a side. Those Second Inquisition fucks are all too happy to pick on delusional kids like you. So are the cams. They offer rewards plenty for your servitude, but never actually deliver. Fortunately for you, there's another option. But before I get to that, let's get one thing out of the way. She leans in. If this is some clever ploy to oust me from my domain, or if you're just here to spy on me and the movement, I'll make sure you I'll make sure that you don't enjoy undeath much longer. Got it? You can tell it's purely a rhetorical question. Right, here's the pitch. The Camarilla like to think they're the vanilla option. Well, what with Prince Bitch Panhard pretending that they were always in charge, but New York has never been a fully cami city. They might have won the city in 99, but the Cam have had their asses handed to them many times over the years. And the movement has been here at least as long as they have. Hell, I moved to NYC before World War II, and that was a good while after I saw the Camarilla for what they are. A way to keep us all subservient and in line. The ivory tower will tell you they're the only safeguard for the traditions, and that's kind of the problem. There's only one tradition we in the movement should be respected. Masquerade, obviously. Everything else, ask the prince and she'll tell you it's the logical continuation of the masquerade, but really it's just a way to keep the elders powerful and in control. She grimaces. But here's the thing. For all the talk of us bloodsuckers being solitary creatures, we need a community to keep the masquerade community, yes. Authority, not so much. We need a council of peers to keep the assholes and power drunk fledglings in check, but not a feudal prince who tells you where to feed or who to hunt down when they step on her toes. She takes a brief break from her indignant rant. So you anarchs don't have a ruler? A ruler? No. But leaders? Sure. Most follow old boss Callahan's lead. You make it sound like it's most, but not you. Yeah, not me. If you're concerned about being well received in this city, you might need to go through Callahan. If you're not serious about the Anarch cause itself, but if you're serious about the Anarch cause itself, he's not your guy. Callahan eats up fledglings like you and shits out self-preservation. His position as Baron is mighty shaky now, not least due to the fact that he's backstabbed more than his share of allies. So he's doing what any other old fart in a position of power would do. He's doubling down. Negotiations are out. Intimidation is in. Tightening the ranks as a precaution against the Second Inquisition. She surprises you by hacking and spitting on the ground in disgust. If you spent some time with the Cams, that should sound very familiar to you. He's no better than Panhard and her cronies are at this point. No, you need to contact Torque. And wouldn't you know it, it's your lucky night, because I'm the lick to do it through. Torque, huh? Why him? Because he's one of the good guys, or at least as good as we leeches can be. Torque is a leader, a local baron who's overseeing a small domain, but he's doing a very good job of it. Callahan knows this, so he's giving him shit. Torque is taking it like a champ. He's smart like that. For one of us rebels, he's got the patience of a saint. Makes you think back to how things used to be way back when. If the stories are to be believed anyway. You want to meet him? I'm going to require a show of goodwill first. That's fair. What do you have in mind? She flashes you a mischievous half smile. I appreciate your readiness, but I don't have the details just now. Ask for me at the bar when you're able. I'll leave something for you and we'll take it from there. Now come on, I gotta go. She walks out of the bar and you go your separate ways. Seems like there's nothing more to do than return here later and see if Mia really can help you contact Torque. Oh, stalker. Let's go deal with Frank. Visiting Sophie's Haven, the doorman stops you. Been here enough times that he recognizes you and says there's a note left for you. You ask about the person who left the note, and the doorman gives a description that can only be Frank Doherty, the reporter. Once you get the note, you step aside to read it. I have what you asked for, everything. I'll just read it. All right. I have what you asked for, everything. All the details. This is crazier than you can imagine. Come to meet me at the Beautiful View Motel in Queens. I'm waiting for you. The note is unsigned. On impulse, you return to the street. You didn't have anything important to do with Sophie anyway. It would be much better to come back with real information. Stepping into the Beautiful View Motel, you can't help but think the name makes promises that the building fails to deliver. Outside, there's nothing but an ugly parking lot, empty. Nothing but an ugly parking lot, empty. The paint marking the spaces is almost completely worn away. Standing in the lobby, it feels like there's decades worth of stale cigarette smoke. You're happy not being able to breathe anymore. The furniture looks like it was picked up from a yard sale in the 60s. There's something appropriate in the grubbiness of the surroundings. They fit the image you have of Frank perfectly. It's appropriate to find him in a place like this. Nod to the old woman manning the reception desk. She seems totally uninterested in what you're doing. Her eyes glued to the small TV perched on the desk. A cop show. Walking deeper into the motel, you find a lounge that might have aspired to a kind of lavish comfort in its glory days. Now it just feels sticky, like you need to wash your clothes afterwards. Frank sits on a bar stool. There's no bartender, but Frank has a shot glass in his hand. He looks even sweatier than usual. Frank fidgets with the glass in hand as if he wanted to give a good impression but couldn't suppress a nervous tick. I hope you're ready, because I have everything you asked for. Frank Doherty is a professional after all. Yes, indeed. They try to smear my name, but I get the story. If your story is good, we can have a very fruitful relationship. Very fruitful. They accuse me of being corrupt. Can you imagine? When you make a single mistake, they think they can just start making things up about you. Frank seems to be in a strange mood. Hard to read. Maybe it's just the alcohol speaking, but something is off about him. Who's they, Frank? Everyone. All those assholes who thought they were smarter than me. You're a reporter, you make mistakes. Everyone does. You make enemies, you get facts wrong. So why was I singled out? You're not sure you can get anything out of Frank. He's throwing himself a pity party and decided to invite you. You decide to try one more time. We made a deal, Frank. Frank sounds like he has plenty more bitterness inside him wanting to come out. Let me tell you something else. An ear-splitting sound fills the lounge, and a bright flash blinds you. For a second, an irrational panic grips your heart. Your dead heart. Is this sunshine? Are you going to burn to death in a cheap motel in Queens? Your vision adjusts, something whizzes past you. There's a series of thunking sounds. Something impacting the bar. Frank is lifting the shot glass miraculously still in his hand. A massive bloodstain spreads across his shirt. For a bizarre, incongruous moment, you stare at the thing sticking out of Frank's chest. It's a crossbow bolt. Another two lie shattered next to the bar, having missed their targets. One missed you by a hair's breadth. Turning around, you see figures dressed in black tactical gear storming into the room in eerie silence. Perhaps the flashbang damaged your ears. They drop their tactical crossbows and lift up rifles. Who comes prepared with a crossbow? Frank slumps to the floor. A wooden crossbow bolt will paralyze a vampire, but struck through a human heart, it kills. The scent of blood fills the air. You are a creature of the night. These attackers can't do anything to hurt you. You will rip them apart. Fuck you. The attackers shoot at you even as you shout. Blood rip into your body, tearing your internal organs apart. You stagger for a second before launching yourself at the man in front. You grapple him, trying to bite at his neck. To your surprise, your teeth clink into metal. He appears to be wearing some kind of special protective device on his neck. Another attacker hits you with the back butt of her rifle. It hurts and something breaks. You hope it wasn't important as you stagger back, feeling your incisors with your tongue. One is broken from the force of your mangled bite. This was a very bad idea. But the attackers all have identical tactical helmets. Their expressions remain invisible under the hard plastic, but you know what they'll do. Shoot you until you die. Vampire or no vampire. We'll try to scare him. The man who tried to bite had a neck guard. The man who tried to bite had a neck guard. That reveals something very uncomfortable how prepared they are, but it also tells you they're scared. You screech, spit blood, and raise your hands as if you had claws, all while making yourself as daunting as possible with your powers. For a moment, the attackers seem affected by your display. A few of them cowering, giving you the space to dash across the room. You can hear one calling for backup in a shrill voice. You crash through the plastic sheeting covering a broken window as the attackers regain composure and more shots pierce your body. Rising to your feet, you realize that your mangled left arm isn't really working anymore. More bullets ricochet off the ground. There are 4 SUVs parked by the motel's front door, all black with tinted windows. A man and woman, middle-aged, dressed like detectives, look at you in surprise as you run past them, bloodied and broken. One tries to yell something as you stumble to your car, painfully wrench the door open, and turn the ignition. For a terrifying moment, you fumble with the keys, but then the car starts and you floor it, careening onto the highway. You only really feel safe once you reach your haven. You take off your clothes, watching in the mirrors as your undead body starts to heal your wounds. It's an amazing sight. One thing is clear, you almost died. Any human would have been killed from the wounds you sustained. You're still here wondering what to wear before you head out to meet Sophie. You run into Sophie's building, tired and hungry from mending your body. The doorman looks at you anxiously as you dash past, unconsciously sensing your bestial nature. You pound on the door of Sophie's apartment, more for the sake of your own nerves than because you think it's any help. After a few After a few moments, Sophie herself opens the door and looks at you in surprise. She doesn't have her makeup on, and her hair is disheveled. You've caught her on an off night. What happened to you? As you step into There we go. As you step into the apartment and follow Sophie into her living room, you see the remains of a party. Empty glasses, a faint smell of blood in the air. You have no time to contemplate Sophie's social life, however. It was an ambush. They were prepared. You're compromised. Oh, fuck. For a moment, Sophie's facade cracks. She looks tired, then rallies herself. Sit down and stay calm. I'll check whether this apartment is still secure. You sit down, suddenly conscious of the vast gulf in experience between you and Sophie. She's managed to stay alive for a very long time and knows how to survive. You hope that you'll survive along with her. For the next hour or so, you sit on Sophie's sofa, answering minute questions about Frank and the commandos who assaulted you. At intervals, she makes murmuring phone calls to mysterious contacts. After a while longer, Sophie lets you go. You should be safe, and more importantly, I should be safe too. I've taken measures to secure both our havens, but keep your eyes open nonetheless. You leave Sophie's apartment wondering whether you'd survive another ambush like this. Alright, time to rest, and with that, I think it's a good enough time as any to call the episode. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and yeah, I'm kind of done saying the usual spiel. I don't know, it doesn't feel natural or comfortable to me, so I'll just say that you know what to do, and I'll see you all next time with more Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York.